for those of you guys who didn't know, executable music is a really cool category where all the music you just heard was generated from a single executable file, or well, per entry, right? So the first one was, I think, just under 4 kilobytes, which is absolutely tiny. And the second one was about 16 kilobytes, which is, I think, the limit for the compo.
Yes.
And again, for a classic frame of reference for this stuff is if you take a Word file, like Microsoft Word, empty document and save it, it's already over like 64 kilobytes. So this is easily below a quarter that size. Really, really cool. And the second one, not to toot my own horn, but was done with a lot of tools that my group Logicoma worked on. So always really cool to see what people can do with those things, because it's always so different than what we do.
Yeah, and they're available, right? You can get them online?
Yes, both on GitHub.
You want to plug your URL?
If I can remember what it was, we might have to do it later. But
fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, all that stuff, Wavesaver and Switcher are available, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, coming up next is the old school music compo.
Yep, starting now.
Opp og ned, og så kastet jeg til bare det, og så fløy i bakken og øra fløy til helvete på. Så det var fint. Det blir stor jævla grogg hjemme. Det blir fint. En håndskinn! Hva i helvete? En håndskinn! Det blir stor jævla grogg hjemme. Det blir stor jævla grogg hjemme.
All right, excellent.
Hello.
Hello. We get a confirmation from the control room. You can hear him, yes? Then you have to say something.
Hello.
Yeah. All right, that was the old school music competition. And as you can see, I replaced Jake with a slightly older but more Trønder-like presence.
Thank you for all that.
Yeah. Jørgen Hekstad, also known as Caramel of Fascination.
Yes. And now Proxima, I think.
Proxima as well, again,
Yes.
yes. Yeah, well,
After 20 years.
yeah, why not?
Back in the business.
Back in the business. I mean, like, we have, of course, a long history that nobody wants to hear about, but we...
Living together.
Living together.
Early 90s.
Early 90s, tracking stuff. I remember we used to, before we moved in together, you know, as one does, I used to take the train to visit your place because you always had the latest mod packs and stuff like that.
Stjørdal.
Stjørdal.
The Homo Race 1911 and also the mod packs.
Yeah. It is actually the Homo Razor 911, so there's some information for you there. Mm-hmm. And you basically taught me some of the tracking tricks that got me started on making, you know, music with like professional DAWs and stuff like that. So thank you for that. It's good to have you with us here today.
Thank you.
I know that like you came back to the scene from like after a long time. You had like a peripheral interest in the scene, and then you showed up at the actual Solskogen a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
after 20 years of being like getting a job, getting married,
all that
things,
stuff.
yeah, and also actually got a job inside like the music biz, where I was planning on going with my music. Did not happen. A couple of gathering wins, and then actually a record deal with Sony.
Yeah.
One single.
Yeah.
And then out.
I still have a signed version of that actually. Yeah. This actually is a fun trivia for people who watch like Norwegian demos in parties. Like you won the Gathering 96?
97.
97.
Both actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the single deal was like part of like the winner of the compo got like
20,000 Norwegian kroners record deal, like a Levi's sponsorship. I mean, what's that?
And you were the spokesperson for Levi's ever since.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see I'm representing now. But then I just like got a proper job.
Yeah.
And now recently found not part nostalgia and part like the craft of especially the old school music scene. I had an entry just now.
I was not going to gloss over this.
No.
So in stark contrast to where you work, we actually have some bias. We don't have bias law, so we actually bring in people who are in the competitions. And if you're annoyed by that, then I'm sorry, it's going to happen multiple times during today, where we have someone who is an authority on the subject is going to join us in the studio to talk about that. So why don't you talk about, like, we have 10 entries in the old school music competition, spanning from old Commodore 64 stuff and onwards. So. What do you think? I think
it's really nice to see all the platforms being used. I noticed one of my favorites from last year's Solskogen, I think, Skuggemannen, who like makes things on really old hardware and doing it amazingly so, I think.
Yeah, and you had the Executable music entry as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And also you can get like what I call headliners in the festival industry, like Ace Man.
Yeah.
Entry. And also I like that it's like newcomers as well. I noticed a scene called the Raccoon Violet House or something like that. Yeah. With a nice entry. And also something that was very popular in the late 90s, guitar music.
Yes, of course.
If you were to win a competition during the like 97, 98, use a guitar.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Guide, of course, Guitar Slinger.
Svolkrak, one of my old favorites.
Golem, yeah.
So, but I mean, the fascination with old school is that you have this compartmentalized. At least I use like a fast tracker 4-channel.
Yep.
I like that it's like a closed circuit. You can't put it. You can't cheat with a lot of new things.
Yeah, you can only cheat with the tools that everybody can cheat with. So it's kind of an even playing field. Yeah.
And I also have noticed after coming back to the scene that there's a lot of like acrobatizing within the patterns. That's a new trend.
Yeah.
It was not that popular earlier, but now I see like people put a lot of effort into like jumping within patterns.
Yeah, so when you're playing it, you can see like, animation in the.
Yeah.
I remember there were like some of the back in the day. You might remember who went back and forth. Who used like position offset to go play backwards.
Yeah. That's become a big part of it, which I think is okay. Well, why not?
Like a nice gimmick.
Yeah, people get bored.
Yeah.
I understand what they want to do that.
Of course.
Yeah. And I also like, because in the 90s it was like, use a guitar because we want to sound like proper music.
Yeah.
For me, the fascination has always been like, you try to make music that sound like the equipment you're making the music on, because that's got such an additional quality to it. I find as like a fan.
Yeah, plus it takes real talent and some skill to stand out as well, because if everybody is doing the same, only the person who really sort of dives deep into it and exploits the possibilities that you have are going to make the entries are going to stand out. So
yeah, and I noticed there was a party just a couple of weeks ago where the winner was a guy called Stinson and another guy who made like a C6014, which is amazing. I was like, and properly made on the C64 as well. I was like, yeah, this is one of the best things I've heard. Also because it's like it utilizes that particular sound equipment.
Yeah, plus the C64 has other challenges as well with the 3 channels, and you have to know let's not get into which of the chips.
No, and I can also add, like, if I talk to my friends who are non-sceners trying to explain this aspect of it, you're gonna lose them.
Yeah,
like
immediately. I'm gonna be at the bar.
See you later. But I mean, like for non-sceners, the new school music competition or streaming music competitions will be much more interesting. But for me, I work at NRK, Statskanalen.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I don't need to. This is not why I really approach the scene. I want to see the old things, not like I hear electronic music every day, made often better than people doing it like in this scene. I mean, this is like everybody makes good electronic music, and not necessarily the best ones are the ones attending the streaming competition.
Yeah, of course. Like there's always going to be a subset.
Not to say that they don't have a lot of quality, but I mean I'm not here for that. I'm here for.
But that's why you're commenting on the old school competition.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to bring you back for the new school.
You could, but I can be much more harsher.
Yeah, I'm going to bring someone else.